Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 88 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of VR. I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an honor to be joined by two of the coziest influencers in the metaverse. It's Alex and Reece.
Oh, hello. I'm very cozy.
Oh, you're cozy. I had a nice big cozy hug from both of you this week. It was
you did.
Lovely. I can attest firsthand.
I was going to say it was very intimate, but that seems a bit weird now, doesn't it?
That was after dark.
It was most intimate.
That was after EGX. We couldn't do that on the show floor.
Yeah, we've all been sharing our germs. We've all been ill. Had the conference.
That is very true.
Convention flu.
Yeah.
Are you feeling better now, Reece?
Much better. Yeah, I've still got a little bit of a tick at the throat, but it's
a sexy voice there. That's nice. Even sexier than usual.
Oh man, I can't wait to see the comments.
Oh yeah, there'll be.
Yeah.
I listened to this in audio version just to make it that much better. Yeah.
I thought everyone listened in audio version. Do we? Do we have a video version?
I mean, it goes in video on Spotify as well, doesn't it? You can watch the video there. Yeah.
No way. Well, speaking of which, if people would like to support us, they can give the podcast a sub on the service they're using, wherever that's Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Loads of them. And if you're watching on YouTube, do hit the like and subscribe and leave us a comment too, because that always helps the algorithm and all that. You follow us on Blue Sky at Crossbutton VR and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. You can find us online at Crossbutton VR. We should play like hunt for Crossbutton VR. We've hidden a Crossbutton VR account somewhere on the internet. You've got to just scour all these different networks, find it. Find us on TikTok. That's easy, but yeah, find us on MSN Messenger.
Is that still a thing?
Give us a nudge.
Probably. Give us a nudge. Yeah. Google Circles.
What a classic.
We've got a Google Circles account, Alex.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Was it YouTube? Did it not become something? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, probably all linked, isn't it, through Gmail?
It did. Anyway, we've been together at EGX, so let's talk about that this week. Because it was lovely to see you.
It was very nice.
EGX,
it certainly was.
Take it or leave it. Seeing you guys, great. EGX, though, yeah, it's one of those things that I feel like people need to go in with the right expectations, and you can have a great time, or no expectations at all. It's fair to say it's not what it used to be.
That's an understatement. Even compared to, even in the years where people have said it's not been great, this year really took it to another level for me. It was more of a market than it was a games convention. Like there was far more in terms of merch and all that shit. And if you wanted a blind box, you could have probably had a choice about 16,000 of them.
What was all that about? Who is handing over money for here's 20 quid to give me a bag of shit? Yeah.
I literally saw what was in one of those blind bags as well. Somebody showed me, and it was literally just a huge bag with just stickers and a postcard and a pillowcase at the bottom. And I was like, "That's 20 quid." Wow. I was bewildered.
I actually thought it was better because in previous years it's been so quiet. It's kind of nice, I suppose. You can it's been so like a ghost town in previous years, where it's had that EGX has had that massive space to itself. And it's kind of felt like you've been walking around and and this year was kind of almost too much pendulum swing because it was Comic-Con and it was just absolutely packed full of people. But it meant there was buzzing in this atmosphere. There was loads of people taking pictures and there was a good kind of energy and buzz, which I know a lot of people would hate the fact it was so busy and they'd rather it be a ghost town. But it just felt like you were in a big airplane hangar before. This huge hangar with nothing in it. And it was just, for me, it felt like it's completely empty, and so I quite like the fact it was much busier and more attended this year. I just think it's such a it's amazing it's even still going, to be honest, because E3's gone and the publishers have all clearly decided that in-person shows are just not something they need to do or want to do anymore. And if they're not going to, any of them are going to be there, what's the point? If it's not, the only point it has is to be Comic-Con and just be like everyone just get a fancy dress and take pictures and buy some dust and tat and just, that's about it, really.
Yeah. It very much kind of felt like all dressed up and nowhere to go. If Bandai Namco hadn't have been there, I mean, there would have been next to nothing in gaming content, and that's not even a disrespect there to the indie publishers. There just wasn't even as much of that. Like
even the rezzed area was just, it was like half of what it was last year. Like it was insane.
I mean that
the amount they're charging these teams, because Reece, you spoke to one of the guys.
It was, I spoke to a few different developers. I think it was about $2,000 per PC, so just one setup was $2,000, and then there was more you could add on as well. So obviously, if you had two computers there, because let's be honest, if you have one computer there, with the amount people sit on these demos for, you're probably going to have a very minimum amount of people testing your game and getting that feedback. That's what the developers are usually there for, is the feedback they're going to get. It's a lot cheaper than paying for QA later down the line. So that helps. Also, it gets the name out there. But yeah, $2,000 for a stand, and I think that's a bit heavy, isn't it? Really,
I feel like EGX should be paying them to be there too, because like the developers are doing EGX a favor by being there and giving people something to do, like gamers, something to do and something to play. Because if you're not there for autographs or photos or merch, which is basically what Comic-Con is, then the game side of thing is fairly minimal. Like there was really no reason to go from a gaming point of view.
There was empty space as well. Like literally, when you walked in there, Alex, I was like, yeah, there's that space over there that was empty, and you like near the buses, you could have fit so much more there. Like there must have been more developers that wanted to be there, but again, with the price, I mean, they should have, like, when it got nearer to the end of like the time, they should be like, okay, we're now offering these spaces for a reduced price, kind of thing. And I know that might have been a bit of a slap in the face for other developers and things like that, but we bought a PSVR2. We know what it's like to buy something expensive in the first get-go. Like it is what it is.
I think Ubisoft were going to be there, weren't they? But then because Shadows got delayed, they were.
Yeah, they were there with Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't go in that booth, so I forgot about that.
Nah. Why would you? You could buy the game at home for the price of an EGX ticket. What's the point?
I have the game, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. You have the game, but if anyone was curious to play the game,
very good game it is too.
But I think the point there is they were only there because they paid for it, and they should have been showing Shadows, so they had the space. So
yeah,
they might as well put Outlaws there essentially.
Throw anything there.
Okay, that makes I hadn't thought about that. That makes a lot more sense. So I went on the second. I went to the first day with you guys, and the second day just took my son along. And I must say, it was much more fun with him, seeing him, because we played Sonic together. We went on the Lego stand, Lego Fortnite played. Too big a queue to play on the Lego Horizon Adventures.
Yeah, that was madness.
Didn't play that. But that was so annoying, because like Sony, this is like your one big game that's still to come out this year. And it was 3 terminals in a Lego thing. Huge queue for it. But it's like, I was watching it, there's like about 15 minutes per go on the demo. And I was like, okay, it's going to take me about an hour and a half to the front of this queue. I ain't that bothered. I'm playing this game that I'm going to sit here for an hour and a half. But like my son, he got posted a photo with Sonic or Shadow the Hedgehog's motorbike, which he was happy about. Cool. And he liked going around to see all the merch, and he bought some stuff. There was like a toy shop, a Hasbro toy shop, and one of the reps got me and my son playing Beyblade together and stuff, which we never played before. And my son was like, "This is amazing," and
he's never played Beyblade. Oh man!
Cashed deal with his birthday money, and he bought a set there and then. So he found loads of stuff that he enjoyed and liked doing. He loved seeing all the cosplayers and all the Deadpools and stuff, all the Wolverine. So he really enjoyed it. So I would say, go along if you can go along with kids and stuff. They will get a lot out of it. If you're really into the whole Comic-Con side of thing, you'll love it. But if you're just a gamer that wants to go and play some upcoming releases, struggle to recommend it for that purpose.
I mean, it was very minimum, but hey, hopefully next year will be better. Okay, because EGX is coming back for 2025, as they put on their website. So hopefully,
well, E3 said that, didn't they? E3 said that.
Yeah, E3 said that. Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I think we'd all be surprised if it comes back, and if it does come back on its own stand, like it's not combined with MCM.
Yeah, I think it would just be the game zone in Comic-Con. It would make more sense to just have like the game zone part of that. The EGX branding doesn't need to be part of it. Like Comic-Con's a much bigger thing now, so
it'd almost be better. But it'd almost be better to get rid of that EGX brand and just have it as like Comic-Con gaming or something, and just kind of get rid of those expectations of what EGX once was, because it's never going to be that again.
Yeah. I will say I enjoyed it more like on the second day when I went there, and it kind of, after that initial thought had settled. Like, because obviously the first day there, I walked in, I was like, what the hell? And then it was great walking around with you and Lewis on the first day. That was great, you know. But then when I got there on the second day, I was like, okay, I'd already had that initial disappointment, so let's actually walk around and check everything out. And I feel like that made it feel a little bit better because it wasn't that slap to the system. I mean, not as much as wanting to get some mac and cheese, which I will never forget. That pricing was ridiculous. But I mean, another great thing about the second day is that we had the VR game spotlight as well. So more something for us to look forward to there.
I'll try to think if I played anything at all that I quite enjoyed. I played Yuka Replayly. That was good fun. I was quite impressed by that. I played some Unknown 9 Awakening. That was quite cool. I did play a VR game, Amelia's Escape, which was one of the few VR games. I mean, more VR content than there was last year. So back to the point of this podcast.
It's about the same.
Okay.
It's free.
So was there 3 last year? Oh,
yeah.
Just let him have it, Reece. Come on.
Okay, no.
More than I played. I didn't play any last year. Amelia's Escape. What? So I played that. That was a single dev was making that, and he was there on the stand, so I was chatting to him. This is basically an escape room style game. I find it very hard to play just because you're on the show floor and there's people watching you, and like it's hard to hear anything. It's just like in an escape room, you have to sort of take your time. Okay, there's that. Look around a bit more. There's something over here. Okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. Something over here. I want to take my time to kind of explore and pick things up and work out what I can kind of interact with and what's. And it just playing that on the show floor was just it didn't work for me. But I enjoyed chatting to the dev and stuff. As I said, I didn't really play the game too much. But it looks quite cool. You know, if you like escape rooms, he tried to make it to be like just a pure escape room in VR, basically.
Yeah, it was more of like a narrative one as well, wasn't it? It has quite a nice story to it, he was saying to me. Because I didn't actually get a chance to play it, but the first hours there, I was speaking to him a bit and just asking him some questions about the game. And literally, I'd say it was a bit more quiet there with people wanting to try it. But even then, with the amount of people crossing over from MCM, I barely got to try anything. I think I tried more non-VR stuff than I did VR, which is an apparent reason because there is more non-VR stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, on Saturday, Sight Unseen, which was there as well, which we looked at. I mean, that was completely packed. Like after the 11 o'clock set, it was absolutely packed all day. I could not get a look in on that. It was really good to see because there was so many people back to back on it. And to one point where they actually had to put a sign up saying the headset's now run out of battery, please come back at this time. Which I'm pretty sure is wired up to the PC, which means it doesn't use as much battery. It sometimes uses a little bit. So, I mean, maybe it's the controllers or something like that.
Again, there were lots of people queuing up. And on the Amelia's Escape, when I was chatting to the guy, there was kids that wanted to have their first go on VR. And again, you think, Sony, why aren't you here with a shitload of PSVR2s? You need to be at these events just to give people that first-hand experience with it. You can't demo this stuff over YouTube. People need to get a headset on their head. So, yeah, why are they not just going around all these events and just having a huge... Because if they were, they would be the star attraction. It's crazy. There's so many people there.
Could have threw something in there.
Yeah. I didn't play Sight Unseen, but I did play a quest at the Roto VR. So do you want to explain what the Roto VR is?
The Roto VR is a chair that's made for basically rotating while you're playing VR seated. It's meant to, stop you from having motion sickness because the whole thing of VR is obviously your brain seeing that you're moving, but you're not actually moving. So therefore, it kind of causes that crosswire, which causes a bit of motion sickness. Whereas with the Roto VR, you're seated. So when you turn your head or rotate in the game and turn your head, because obviously when you rotate, you're going to turn your head at the same time, the chair will rotate with you. So then making your body have that feeling of rotation, which then stops you having VR motion sickness. I mean, for people that have probably played VR for the longest period of time and rotating games and all that kind of stuff, it's probably not going to appeal to you in that sense, unless you're somebody that plays VR seated. I'm really intrigued by it just simply for the times that I do want to play VR seated. I just found it a very comfortable seat as well at the same point. To the point where I'd want a 360 desk and just use it for everything and just, the possibilities are endless apart from just the VR section of, the actual chair itself. But it was really cool. I mean, I feel like certain games you play it on, it would work better. Like for things like Dig VR and games like that, and certain roller coaster ones where you kind of like moving your head as well. I think it'd work quite well. He did say, obviously, because the interference to the Wi-Fi, And also the tracker itself, he said there was experiencing issues. So when you rotate, it kind of jagged a little bit, like kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It was kind of like a
It's
stop
a bit
and
more
start.
violent. It was a bit more violent than it should have been, I think. He was
It's
saying to
quite
me,
aggressive.
there should
But
be a smooth start, but it was a bit more of a sort of juddery start, which
and
he was
I
very
mean,
apologetic about. So
yeah, because I've seen videos of people using it, and I've not seen it have that kind of like the way it was going for us. So I definitely believe what he was saying there, because the videos I've seen, it looked like a very smooth experience. But even then, with that aggressive stop and start for it, it was a really cool product, and I can definitely see the appeal of having one of these, especially for people that play VR seated all the time. Really, I mean, if you're someone that plays VR standing, you're probably not going to ever look at this and go, "That's something I want," because you're not going to change the way you want to play VR. But no, I think it was a really cool product.
Probably worth noting, though, it will never be for PSVR2 because
I stupidly asked that, didn't I? I don't know why.
Yeah. But it is, and not for any reason that you might think, but it just says basically the cabling technology that Sony use is just too complicated to get it to work. They just can't get it to work with the cabling that Sony use. Same PSVR one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to sort of plug the cable into the chair and then the chair
No,
into
it's the actual type of cable, because the cables can run through the chair, so the chair's got cabling running through it, so it's got a section into it, but the actual type of cabling, they can't make it compatible.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been the issue with Sony's PSVR2, isn't it? You can't take the cable off and, sort it out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit annoying.
We'll get it twisted up, surely.
It would, but I mean, that's what Alex is trying to say. If you could unplug the cable from the PSVR2, you could feed it through the chair to the point where it wouldn't get all twisted up. And it's the same thing you were saying just with PC VR, because you can actually adapt the cable to the chair itself and connect it all, something like that. I would need to try one of these out more so with like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's cool nonetheless. And I think some people out there that play VR seated would definitely pick this up.
Well, I was just happy to play it because I got to play some Batman on the Quest on it, which I was quite impressed by. I was very impressed by. Yeah, it was cool.
So impressed, you went off and bought a Quest, right?
I did not, no.
Oh.
Not yet. Not yet.
Sooner or later, we'll get him.
It's PS5 Pro week this week. Expensive week already this week. Can't be buying a Quest on top of that, I'm afraid. I need to get the enhancements to my PSVR2 games. Can't be letting those pass me by. I need to play Kayak VR enhanced for PSVR.
Kayak VR Pro.
PSVR 5 Pro or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. There's a big discussion on about that in the Discord today as well, wasn't there?
Was there? Yes, of course.
Yeah. The one you pay attention to, Laurie.
Yes.
He does drop in there every now and then, bless him.
I remember Discord's a thing.
I don't. I try to forget it.
But yes, the game Spotlight, tell us about that, because you attended that, didn't you, Reece?
Trust you to ask me while I'm taking a sip of my drink. Yes, I did. I managed to get there on time because it was like 6:00 last time it started, wasn't it? So everybody was already there. I mean, it was at 11:45 this time. And I remember I was actually standing at the entrance and Callum walked in and he had like his one of his people from his production team there. So he was talking to me, Game on Scorpio, Clickstar, and I think there might have been somebody else there, but I can't remember. So apologies. But yeah, we were just all talking about, just his kind of general stuff with EGX and not general stuff with EGX, but more so like, the time and where to go. He was kind of guiding us really because we had no idea where to go. He's having to point it out. So yeah, anyways, to the actual show, we got up there. The turnout was actually really good. I'm really happy for Callum, because this is one of the things where you would have, if you didn't know where you were going and what time this thing was, you wouldn't have walked past it to go, oh, what's going on in there? You had to know. And the turnout was actually really good. There was, I'd say, maybe a few empty chairs, but, I was expecting less people to be turning up just simply because of the way it's situated.
Yeah, it must be a better slot because last year there was quite a lot of empty seats because it was like 6:00 in the evening and most people had gone home by then. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was saying last year had a good turnout, but I spoke to him afterwards and he actually said I was quite impressed with the turnout. Bless him, though, I will say there was a lot of technical issues, from microphones not working to just noise, with the trailers lagging on the screen. And there was one point when I did look at Callum's face and he did look a little bit defeated, bless him. And I do feel sorry for him because he's put all this work in and no fault of his own, he started having issues with just the technical stuff there, to the point where some of the staff had to come in and kind of assist with it all, which was just a shame to see. But yeah, anyway, the first game that popped up was, I believe it was the first game that popped up. I'm going to kind of go through these in the order that I've wrote them down. But they showcased Cold VR, which is a game that's coming to PSVR2, Quest, and PC VR. I believe it's coming to Quest, but I'm saying that now anyway. It is now. Boom. So you had Perp there. You had, I think it's Frankie from Perp talking about it, which absolutely lovely bloke. Had a chance to talk to him on the show floor as well. So yeah, he was there talking about Cold VR, and he was just really excited to talk about this game as well. And I think that kind of sold it more as well while watching. Even though it's a game I've already played the demo of, I've already enjoyed what I've played of this game. In the moment he was talking about it, it just kind of sold it even more. So yeah, that was really good. We had Scarer VR, which is a puzzle game, kind of a bit elements similar to Horizon with some of the creatures, not creatures, but the robots in it. I have played Scarer. I played it back at WASD this year. It's a very high fidelity, good looking game that's on PC VR, or coming to PC VR. And then they showcased Another Door, which is the one that me and Alex spoke about last week, I think it was.
Which we got the name of wrong when we were talking about it, but I did correct.
What did we call it?
I think we called it Another Room, but it was another door escape room.
Well,
it is another door. Okay, well, it's another room. It's another room. Is it? Wait, if I go
no,
right,
it is another door. We called it Another Room. We were talking
let's go
about
with Another Room. That sounds better. Yeah. Another room. Yeah, so we spoke about that last week about it being like a horror style escape room game, which for us I think equally we think it fell a little bit flat after the mannequin level. Not that the designs of all levels were poor. I just feel like that was the strongest one. Then I saw some Strike Rush, which is a game we have played. I say we have played. I've played it. And that's kind of like your Overwatch in VR, which is available on Quest. Really good game. I've enjoyed what I've played of it. I'm going to be going back and playing some more of it soon, because I actually had a chance to speak to not the team that actually makes the game, but the team that works with them and kind of, markets their game outside of their region to kind of help push it a little bit further. So I had a chance to speak with them, and they're really lovely people to speak to. So I said I'm going to jump back in, because they were, talking about the new update that's just dropped. So I'm going to jump back into that and give that a go. So yeah, I'm sure you'll hear my thoughts in the next few weeks about Strike Rush. Bootstrap Island, another game I've spoke about on Crossbutton before, whether it be here or when we did the bonus episode. Yeah, it's probably on there. We spoke about it briefly. Survival game, trapped on an island. It's a roguelite, so as soon as you die, you have to start all over again. But the further you progress within this world, you kind of get more stuff. Good game. It's one that I would argue really needs to make its way to the PSVR2, just simply because of how great it looks and how well it plays. I definitely think they need to look at trying to port this over as soon as possible before somebody else kind of jumps in with a survival type game like this, because PSVR2 doesn't have anything like it. And then they showed Sight Unseen and also Amelia's Escape, which we just spoke about. They showed them there and kind of said you can play these downstairs. And that's when I noticed a lot more people were actually going there. I mean, it might have just been there was a Saturday.
That's cool.
It might have just been there was a Saturday and more people were there. But what I did say is the team that worked with Strike Rush and Bootstrap Island were there talking about the games and the updates. They got the developers up from Sight Unseen to talk about it. I can't remember his name, but he was absolutely ecstatic to talk about his game. Like, literally, I think he sold his game more than the trailer sold the game. Like, literally, just the way he spoke about it, he was so excited about what he's made, what his team have worked on, this project they've done. It was just, really cool to hear that. And I think at that point there, when we went downstairs, I just seemed to notice more people being there. Alex, you can talk about Airspace Defender briefly, because I've not played it, but I think you're...
Oh, I love this game. I can't remember if I spoke about this last time or not, but Airspace Defender does like 3D mixed reality missile command. So you're essentially trying to protect your city for these incoming missiles, and you're using your fingers to like click to catch them on their way down, and you're just kind of wandering around this city as they come at you, and it's just basically like old school Atari type game, but made it a 3D mixed reality, and it's just so well done. So well done. I'd highly recommend this to anyone with a Quest.
That's cool.
Play. Then they showed Vivarium, which is a game I know of. I was going to jump into the beta when it first came out, and I didn't end up getting around to it, unfortunately. But it's kind of like a mixed reality style game, but also with VR components, where you just make your own vivarium in your house, which might be something for some people. I think it's quite peaceful, quite chilled.
Sounds like a nice cozy game.
Yeah,
exactly. I think that might appease some people. Then we saw Stunt Double Joe McFlash, which is another game we know of. I need to jump in to play that because when we actually got sent to play it, it wasn't working for me, so we couldn't install it. So I need to actually give that a play, and I'll talk about that briefly in a couple of time.
I did play it.
Oh, you've played it? Okay, brilliant.
I don't really want to say much else about it.
Okay.
It was one of those, and it's all about driving. In terms of you're driving a stunt car and kind of going through all these kind of set pieces to try and get you're a stunt man trying to get these scores, but it was so unresponsive. I found it, and whether that was just because it was early when I was playing it, but I just kept getting really frustrated with trying to drive these cars, and I'm like, I need this to handle better. And I know it's arcadey, and I know it's this, but if it wants to be arcadey, I needed it to be more arcadey, so it just was almost a bit easier rather than
I will say with the trailer that person showcased there, it showed more out of car shots of just jumping across stuff as opposed to how it controlled inside the car and how it looked inside the car. And now you're saying that, I'm kind of wondering whether that was an actual set decision there to do that. I'll jump into it at some point, give it a go, just so I can see what I think of it. Then they showed another Grocket update, which is a game me and Alex have played before. I couldn't get on with it. It was a game that was actually shown at the last VR showcase as well. And even then, I was kind of at that point, I was like, I didn't have a Quest. And I was like, what is this game? I just didn't understand the appeal. And then when playing it, I just really didn't get on with it. And I can see how some people can enjoy it, but for me, it just didn't hit. And then last, the one to sign off the showcase was Humans Fall Flat, which we've spoke about many times here. Which none of us have played yet in VR.
No.
Hopefully we will do it at some point.
Or non-VR for my case.
Alex has played it in non-VR, so at least we've got something there.
What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy.
What a guy. Well, good. So, I mean, that, if nothing else, sounds worth attending from a VR point of view. It's weird that they have the VR showcase there, or Game Spotlight. It just annoys me that there isn't more VR stuff there. I don't know. It feels like VR just really could benefit. If any sort of part of gaming could benefit from its own show, like in-person show where people can actually get hands-on time with stuff, then VR surely is it. Maybe we'll do it. We should get bloody Henry at Upload VR team. They could put on a great show.
You saw Henry though, didn't you?
I saw him just as I was going into Batman. I was like, Henry, hello.
Yeah, it made me laugh. It's like, he was like, that's Henry, isn't it? Henry!
It's just Henry! What? Fuck off, I'm playing Batman now.
It was pretty much that.
Literally.
Spoke to him for all but 3 minutes, and he was like, I'm going into Batman, I see you. And then Henry was like, I'm going to go. And I was like, see you later then, mate.
And I avoided him again, so.
Yeah. Poor Henry. Every time he wants to see you, he's like, he never gets around to it.
Sorry, Henry.
Yeah.
But, no, but that side of the thing is great. If you've got people that you know, friends that you're into gaming with and stuff, to go in a group, it is good fun just to hang out with your mates in person, seeing stuff. You have a beer and stuff. It's good. It's good place for a laugh, I think.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go in expecting to be playing all the latest releases from Nintendo and Sony and Xbox, because you will be sorely disappointed if you do.
I mean, I was hoping to see some more indie games that I hadn't heard of at the VR Game Spotlight. I was hoping to hear some more stuff that I haven't seen or hasn't already been kind of, just a new update kind of thing.
I mean, your VR showcase is now eating their lunch, I suspect, isn't it? Probably. There's only so many trailers for so many games that can come out each year.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, anyway, I'm sure we can go on about that quite a lot.
Upload do their own show as well, don't they? In the Summer Games Fest,
there's
as well. So there's a lot.
And I mean, I believe with Callum, he doesn't charge for these games to go on there either. He was saying, wasn't he? So it's kind of like take whatever you get, I suppose. Whoever wants their game shown. But that was a very brief of what we got at the spotlight, but yeah.
Any of that PSVR2? I don't think so.
Human fall flat.
Cold VR.
Oh yeah, Cold VR.
Humans fall flat. Yeah. Even Scare VR. I mean, that's a game that should come to PSVR2, but I spoke to the devs at WSD and they were like, it isn't in our pipeline at the moment to put it to PSVR2. Leadest Escape. The dev was actually there talking about his game, and he did say he wants to bring it to PSVR2 in the future. So there's that one, potentially. But at this point in time,
okay. Well,
yeah.
Well, as we are a PSVR2 podcast, we better move on to some actual PSVR2.
Are we? I thought it was just VR.
News. Well, PSVR2 first. No, it's good that we talk about VR as well, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to talk about EGX.
That's true.
But what else has been happening? Let's start with some good news, and that's the Alien Rogue Incursion previews have come out this week. And Alex, you naysayer, apparently it's looking very good.
Don't believe it.
I was waiting for Alex to say something else, because
fake news.
Well,
fake news.
I've seen a lot of the fellow VR content creators out there saying that the people that previewed the game aren't VR channels or things like that. It's more of just your big press things that don't actually cover VR mainly.
Yeah, mainstream outlets.
Yeah,
because I guess if it's an Alien game, then you can get IGN to do a preview, and indeed they did. So
yeah, I think their argument was more so of surely you should throw somebody into this who plays VR every single day and kind of be able to give their feedback on the basis of that. But maybe that's not what they want right now. Maybe they just want to kind of keep pushing the hype. It's probably not got to that point yet.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's job is to market this game, and they want to market it to people that, like, they know that all the people that will watch gamer tags review of it anyway. So they want mainstream gamers to see it and be like, oh wow, maybe I do pick up a headset now. It's stuff like Alien and Metro are the games that they want non-VR gamers to be covering. For sure. But it's looking good. It's looking proper scary. It does not look like something I want to I will be able to play very much.
To play it so much.
Yeah, it looks like definitely a U game. But it looks like it's much more action rather than the Alien Isolation. Just because Alien Isolation would take me about 50 hours to complete, because I would just spend hours and hours just in lockers until I was absolutely sure I wasn't there.
Can I leave now?
And I'd probably be like, you know what, I'm just going to stay in this locker forever. I was going to take the headset off and just never leave the locker. And that'll be
the game on the base of the locker. The locker looks really good. The graphics are brilliant.
The canonical ending for my character. It's like, just died in that locker. Died of starvation. But this one looks much more action and lots more guns firing off and aliens being shot down dead. So, yeah, all I'm saying is I hope there's an easy mode that I'll play out
story mode.
Because I can't be
We
dealing
all
with the stress.
love a story mode.
Extreme difficulty.
Yeah, realism mode.
Yeah,
but it's looking good.
Aliens in it. How can it be realism? Come on.
Oh.
Is it been delayed to January? Am I making that up? Is it still December?
I think it's still December.
Still December. Oh, good. Well, good.
Not yet. It will though.
Alex is holding out on that one. If he loses that one, he's going to lose a bet at some point.
So yes, there was a good feature on the PlayStation blog as well. So it's worth reading. And then IGN and some other people, I think, had some features, previews for it as well. So check those out. Some good videos as well. Lots of gameplay footage as well that's dropped for that one. So you can take a look at those if you haven't seen those already. We also got another brief look at Behemoth, which got a new story trailer, which again is looking nice. I say it's got a story trailer. I watched it. I can't be sure I got much of the story. There's a huge, deep story to this game. You're a guy that's wandering these lands and having to take down monsters for some reason.
That's the story right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the story. But it continues to look very cool. The gadgets and things, it looks very Horizon-esque in that there's lots of gadgets that you get that presumably you'll expand your toolkit as you go through the game that can do things, but like those hook shots and whips and things chains that you can pull things towards you and stuff. So it's looking cool.
It's the S&M version.
Yeah, chains and whips and yeah.
Well. Finally, a game we can all get behind.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean?
I have no idea.
I mean, if it's coming to PC, I'm sure someone will mod it.
Paul.
But that's looking very good as well. So it's good. It's definitely, we're building up to a big finish for the year in VR. So both Quest and PC VR. Obviously, Quest has already got Batman, and then they're both going to be getting Behemoth, Alien, and Metro in the coming weeks. So they are the big hitters to end the year off, and they're all looking good, which is good. Let's talk about Toast Interactive, which has been hit with some layoffs, sadly. They released a statement out there just saying, acknowledging the fact they've had to let people go, which is never good to see, especially a game off the back of so much success as Max Mustard's had.
Yeah, it is a shame.
That is a shame, but you can kind of understand it at that point in the cycle where they've released Max Mustard now and all the platforms probably it's coming to, so there's just probably not specific jobs for certain people at this point in time. It's a shame, but I mean that's me speculating, but it's probably likely to be true.
Yeah, I do wonder how much of this is people like us just wanting to empathise with sorts of jobs, but I do wonder if you're working in game dev, you must know when the game finishes and it wraps and it gets released and all the kind of post content support has been delivered. You think, well, they're not going to just keep me here for another 2 years whilst they do all the early groundwork on the next game. And big studios, obviously, they've got multiple projects going and they can move people around and redeploy them if you're working for a big studio. But these smaller indie studios, they don't have the income coming in to pay that many salaries permanently, do they? So surely this must be part of the job, right?
Yeah, I think from that perspective as well, though, like if that is the case, I feel like you'd be more understanding about the situation, even though it's still sad that you're hit with it. I feel like you kind of be like, oh, this makes more sense. Whereas as opposed to like big corporations, where it's like, let's get rid of 100 staff, and then 2 weeks later you hear the CEO's just got a pay bump. I feel like that would kind of that would really burn a fire in the pit of my stomach for quite a while.
That's it. I think you work in a small indie studio. I think you're not going to get so much job security, but you could probably move around to lots of different ones quite easily. Swap from studio to studio as depending on what stage in the cycle they're at, and also you've got more chance to get in at the ground if the studio does grow, and you can part of it from the start, and then you can maybe get some nice payday win if and when the studio gets bought. Who knows? But if you work for a big studio, then you don't have that kind of freedom to move around so much, but you expect that security. And so if when Sony or Microsoft just close a studio down or just cut 100 jobs for the sake of it, just to make the CEO richer, then that must be a very different, much more enraging, like you say. Well said.
Either way, wish them all the best and hope they find something soon, because what they did on Max Mustard was fantastic.
They've certainly got something great to show on their CV, I think, when they're talking to any devs, because they all did a fantastic job on that one, for sure. And obviously, if they've just been let go, the people that worked on the port to PSVR2, then any other studio would be lucky to have them, because they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Fireproof Games, who were the makers of The Room VR, which is a Spot VR favourite. They've confirmed a new game. They've been teasing this over the week up to Halloween, and it's called Ghost Town, and it looks very cool.
It does.
Alex, have you seen? I'm going to let you talk about this one, Alex, because it's set in Scotland, and you're Scottish.
I just hope it has good Scottish accents, because I'm getting so fed up with games depicting Scottish accents in a terrible way.
What's the worst one you've heard?
Oh, I was playing a game earlier this week. I took a flat game. It was called Nico de Rico. It's like a platformer. It was actually at EGX, and there was a Scottish accent in there, and that was terrible. And I think it was a really bad one in Bravely Default too, if I remember correctly.
They're all dodgy on that one, aren't they?
Yeah, and you're just like, come on, give us a good accent. But I'm hoping that they'll give us some good ones here, and I'm just really looking forward to this game because we love The Room VR. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Fireproof do next.
And this looks much more narrative based. I think it's 2 paranormal investigators sent up to Scotland to investigate. It's basically like Most Haunted, but it looks really cool.
It's definitely no date at the moment, as far as I'm aware. It looks really good. Like the trailers, like graphics wise, I think it looks really good as well. All platforms, like you said, which I think is always a good thing to see. But I love The Room, and I'm hoping for something a little bit more a longer experience than what we got with the room, because you can complete the room pretty quickly, unless you're like me and got stuck for like 20 minutes on a puzzle.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a good length for me. I liked it because it was. Yeah, it took me probably longer than it should have done because of having to solve the puzzles and stuff. But yeah, it's coming to Quest, Steam, and PSVR2. Just as coming soon to all those platforms. So hopefully that is one we'll be playing next year.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully so.
If not before. No, it won't be next year.
I hope
You never
it's
know.
next year. I really do. With the amount of games that there is to play at the moment, I really hope it's next year.
Yeah, it'll be a great January game. Hopefully they don't try and hold it till October to make it spooky. But they should.
Maybe.
If they say they're coming soon, that to me says kind of the next 6 months, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good indication.
But yeah, a trailer. It's very cool. And also like the way they did the kind of build-up marketing, just teasing it over a few days. Clever job, whoever did the marketing there, whoever came up with that.
Yep, because it kept popping up.
Yeah, heard about lots throughout the week. We got a launch date confirmed for Arken Age, January the 16th. That's coming to Steam and PSVR2. This one looks very cool. We don't know too much about it yet still for a game that's coming out in January, which is just over 2 months away. So hopefully we'll get a decent trailer for that soon.
Yeah, looks really cool. What I've seen of it. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for a new game coming out, it looks very high fidelity, which I think something you always rave about, don't you, Laurie? You love your very high fidelity games coming.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping the combat is very weighty and fun. That's always my thing with games where you have to kind of hit swords with each other. It has to have a bit of oomph. It can't feel it. It can't. You just got to get it right, basically. So you get it right, mate. Overall, it looks really good though, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, cool. Snow Scout. Let's move on to next. That has sold very well apparently on PSVR2, so that's good. This is based on a Reddit post that the developer posted just to coincide with their got a 20% discount, so I think it's on sale at the moment on the PSN. And yeah, apparently it's done well. I think they said that it took the sales on Quest or PCVR, wherever it was first, they were quite slow and took them quite a while to make their money back. But just based on the initial sales on PSVR2, they said they're confident it's going to make enough money to fully pay for the port, which you'd hope kind of goes without saying, really. But the fact that that's not a given is probably slightly worrying. But apparently, when he originally released it on PCVR, it lost money on it making the game, and the PCVR2 version made more money in its first month than in the entire 2 years the game was available on PC. So there you go. And they also said, look, we just want to share this anecdote. It's quite similar to how the Max Mustard devs also said their game did better on PSVR2 than Quest in the initial weeks as well. So again, that's nice to see. And hopefully our positive thoughts and comments on it contributes to that success in some very small part. Let's hope, because it's a great game.
It's a very good game.
Yeah, it's a funny one that it should market it more as this is a skiing sim game, because that's quite a big part of it that you don't really pick up from the trailer.
You don't need to even do it.
You don't need to do it, but people that love skiing would just love this for the skiing part of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
quite a well sort out skiing mechanic as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody hard, but then probably so is skiing.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
So that was good news. And final bit of good news, which I know a lot of people are going to be excited about, is Gorilla Tag is coming to PSVR2 this week as this show lands. So yeah, it's going to be coming out on the 8th of November, which is a couple of days after this episode goes live. So very exciting. And it's going to be free to play online game, which doesn't require a PlayStation Plus.
Confirmed?
Yeah.
Wow. It actually got confirmed. Nice. I was surprised by that. I thought
it says upload VR, so blame them if it's wrong.
Oh, okay. All right. So are they assuming or?
No, I think they've had it confirmed.
Okay.
They've confirmed with them, they said.
Oh, okay.
Let me just double check in their story.
It costs money on PC, but it's free to play on Quest. And I didn't know whether they're going to do the same feature on PSVR2, because I believe on the upload thing that I read, it says you need to have PlayStation Plus to play it, which is not a thing with free-to-play games. So I'm wondering...
on upload story,
they've for some PlayStation Play.
Okay.
Games,
okay, cool.
an upload story about it. They say a representative for another Axiom informed Upload VR that Gorilla Tag will be free to play on PSVR2, like the Quest version, and will not require a PlayStation Plus subscription. So,
brilliant. Okay, it's changed then since I read it. Okay, apologies there.
Yeah,
but
it
good
looks
news
like
too.
So anyone that doesn't know Gorilla Tag, I watched the trailer for it. I still can't quite. Just a gorilla sim. Is it just you're just larking about with your mates? Who knows? It's a kind of a viral hit on Quest, right? It has 1 million daily active users, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest VR game I think out there. Which when you keep asking for like games like high fidelity and you want things like that, and then you look at Gorilla Tag and see that that's still one of the biggest rated games on Quest, it kind of makes you go, but really, do you need big games if this is the biggest thing?
For people that have never seen this game, it kind of looks a bit like Minecraft, slightly better graphics than Minecraft, but not really. It's not blocky, but it's that same sort of pixel art, but it's not cubist. But it is similar graphical style, I guess, or similar graphical kind of fidelity to Minecraft, even if it's a different style. And yeah, it just seems to the trailer just emphasizes the fact you can move around, and as you move around more, you get the hang of the gorilla swinging around the motions and stuff, and you can interact with other players, and you're just swinging from the trees and doing kind of parkour, monkey parkour, basically, or monkey as they call them.
Sorry,
monkey they call them. Yeah,
Alex looks like he's just lost the will to live at this one.
Yes, yeah, it does.
I couldn't have asked for a better birthday present. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
so we're jumping into this, all three of us, yeah? We're going to be playing this?
We're going to have to, aren't we?
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
Our duty. Well, luckily, friend of the show, Ben, his son, friend of the show, former host, Ben, and can now be found on the Mimic's Veil every Thursday. I said it. I got it right. I was going to mention that earlier, actually, Mimic's Veil, because you talk about EGX a lot more on that.
Me too,
so people can hear your thoughts with you and Ben and Lewis's thoughts on EGX. But Ben, formerly of the show, now on the Mimic's Veil, confirmed that his son was very excited that this game is coming to PSVR2, and he'll get a chance to play it. So if you're a teenage boy, then probably this means a lot more to you than it does to us.
Certainly.
Alex, you look like you could not give less of a shit.
No, that's one, like, I genuinely could not give less of a shit than on Gorilla Tag. I'm sorry. Yes.
Fair enough. Let's move on to what we have been playing. Reece, why don't you talk?
Okay,
Just watch you laughing. I like putting you on the spot when you're having a little laughing fit.
Okay, anyway, the first one, I'll talk about the first one just simply because Alex has played it as well. We played it together. Airspace. I mean, we were meant to speak about this last week, but we completely forgot, even with the many hints you gave us, Laurie, as the great host you are.
You can lead a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water. You can't.
Sure, you've not got more to speak about. Anyways,
one more thing.
Since that point, we have played more of it, so it's probably for the best. I say since that point, I think we played more of it. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a long week. Anyways, Airspace, one of the greatest VR multiplayer rhythm games you'll ever have.
Wow.
It's basically Rock Band in VR, and it's just silly. Like
without the instrument, obviously.
Yeah. Although, I mean, playing the air guitar on this is very satisfying, especially like working the fret and strumming the guitar at the same point. It works really well. I mean, each instrument has their own difficulty. So if you're playing on the guitar, usually you're going to find that being one of the more difficult instruments because you have to, press the grip button, press the trigger, and kind of work down the fret and hold all buttons at the same time and strum and keep hitting them. So it can be quite difficult depending on what song you play. So we end up pulling Paul along for the ride from VR Realm, which was really fun. We got him in. That was a good laugh. So I think the more players you have on this, the better it's going to be with all of you on one instrument and just kind of, having that experience. I really like this game. I've spoke about it I think we spoke about it a bit on I think it was the Gamescom episode because it was shown there. And I think I spoke about it quite a bit as well because I ended up playing the demo like a whole week non-stop to like 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, this game's addictive, and now they've added mod support inside of the game as well, so you can just select the song you want, click subscribe, and you can just play that song. And they're going to be working on adding that song be played in multiplayer as well in the future. Because at the moment, that's not something you can do, but it is something they're looking at doing. And I think that'd be for the best because, let's be honest, Alex will jump at the chance to play a Coldplay song.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely something to look forward to. Yeah, really recommend it. I really do enjoy it.
It's quite a fun little social experience. To the other side of it as well, like say when you're on the stage, like playing the instruments, it's not like you're locked in a screen coming towards you. Like it's quite maneuverable, so you can go and like jam next to each other or move over next to each other and face each other, and the notes will still come towards you. And it's all about that whole like building up your band and getting like points for your band, and then like battle of the bands and all this stuff as well, which I don't think is quite launched yet, but that's coming. And
yeah, I think they're meant to be doing more stuff like that with the bands. At the moment, it's like if you set up your lobby and then you can do a band challenge, and then it kind of gives your band a name. But I'm really hoping they kind of work into an update of making it so you make your own band name and then you do challenges. I think they need to work into that because that would just be so cool. And I think it'll be really good for retention as well.
It's very good.
Yeah, it is. It's a very good game. So yeah, that was the first game I played. I went back to Batman. Yes, jumped straight back in. It's getting better the more I'm going in. The story is, so I don't know what chapter I'm on now, but I'm locked into this game. This is one of the best VR games ever made. Like, genuinely, like this is up there with Half-Life Alyx. It's incredible, and I think it's still baffling to me that this is running on a standalone device. Like, I feel like this is something you would see equally on PSVR2. And I did see someone put out a post saying something similar, like, if this was on PlayStation, it wouldn't be considered looking good. No, 100% stand by what I say. If this was on PC or PlayStation, you'd be happy with the way it looks. You'd just be really appreciative of the extra frames and things like that. I think that's what you'd appreciate more. But overall, how it looks, it's fantastic. And I still can't just stop doing the combat. Like, I started doing the Predator challenges, and the combat is just, it's so satisfying. So yeah, having a lot of fun with those.
Yeah, it's definitely tempting me to pick up a headset for sure. I want to play this game.
Yeah, do it. It's, I mean, you played a little bit of it, but you only got to do the tutorial, wasn't it? And that's all they kind of threw you with the tutorial sections because they didn't want to.
Much. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's cool in its own regard, but I think the main selling point for this is how much this game is like an actual Arkham game that's been in non-VR. The one-to-one parity of that is insane, and it's just so cool. The last two other games I played was House Flipper VR, and then Darkness Rollercoaster, which is, I did the tutorial. I don't mind it. I need to play some more. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I can talk about Darkness Rollercoaster as well, because I've done a bit more than that. It's kind of like Switchback, right? It's the same sort of thing. You're on a roller coaster. Basically, you have to shoot targets as they come past you. That's about it, really. The theme's a bit more kind of goblins and wizards and skeletons. It's much more cartoony than Switchback, for sure. There's some extra mechanics to it. There's quite a cool alternative vision mode that you can look in and stuff, where there's enemies hidden in this kind of ghosty realm kind of thing. But when I played it, I ran out of ammo and I could not work out how to reload, and I had to come to you, Reece, and you've told me now that apparently you have to put your wands behind your head and that reloads, which I was like, I'm sure it's never told me that before.
It didn't. I was looking at it in the tutorial. It doesn't tell you. As far as I'm aware.
How did you know how to do that? How did you work it out?
I watched a stream of
Pickle
playing it when it first came out. So, and it looked like he was kind of flicking his wrist like that. So I tried that in the game, and then it reloaded. But then when I was doing it, like having my hands further down, it wasn't working. So then I kind of went like that, and then
I was trying everything. I was flicking my wrists. I was tapping my hands against each other. I was trying to sort of tap my wrist with one hand, tap the one with the other hand. I was pressing all the buttons on the thing. I was like, what? I don't understand. Is this broken? Have I missed something? Is that button not working? There should be. So yeah, very frustrating. Because I couldn't. I thought I'd done something wrong, so I restarted the level and tried to play it all through again. And then it was about 4/5 of the way through the level I kept running out of. I was like, I don't understand this, because surely you need to reload more regularly than this, but you just need to reload once per level. It seems like a very odd mechanic. Just don't make it reload at all, or make it more frequent.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what you're doing.
Unlimited ammo, then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very odd one. But beyond that, it's quite fun. Quite fun. chill game. It's probably not as good as Switchback, but it's probably not trying to be the same sort of thing as that. But
I mean, it's a remaster of a PSVR1 game as well. So I mean, they're kind of, you can tell that they've not changed much on certain things as well. Especially mainly with the head movements and things like that to kind of dodge stuff.
It's definitely one for kids because I wouldn't let my son play Switchback, but I'd let him play this.
Really? Oh, surprising. I thought you would let him play Switchback.
No, freak him out. Freak him out.
Yeah, that would scar him forever, wouldn't it? But I think Darkness Rollercoaster is relatively cheap as well, so you've got that, going for it.
Yeah. But you don't want to talk about House Flipper? Not one.
I think you said enough about that.
Go on. So I did the tutorial. Buttons got stuck on the screen. It initially asked me to put a frame on the wall. So I went to do that, and the frame wasn't going on the wall. It wasn't kind of going forward with the tutorial. So then I had to buy another frame to the point where it's like, this is now what you do. And then it told me what to do. So I ended up spending $800 on 3 pictures just to complete that part of the tutorial. And then it got me to do the first job, and instantly something was stuck on my screen, like a selection wheel, which wasn't going, even though I had the item in hand that I was using. So that was really annoying, because it was just like this very obnoxious selection screen around my hand wherever I was moving it. So yeah, that was disappointing. And yeah, it just felt very janky. And this is a game that has been noted to be very janky on every platform it's been on. So I wasn't expecting it to be fixed or anything. I was just expecting it to play good enough for me to get the enjoyment from it that I got from the non-VR House Flipper. So yeah, it does not give me the enjoyment. The options to even get off, remove snap turning is not there, and we all know how I feel about snap turning. It's not so much of it being there for you to use, it's just give me the option to actually use smooth turning, because snap turning is something that does make me feel a bit nauseous. So yeah, just no, it's a bit shit, I think is the best way of putting it.
Fair enough.
And they've had 3 attempts now, 3 attempts at this. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. Alex, what else have you been playing other than Bandspace?
So other than Bandspace, I'd mentioned Airspace Defender, we talked about earlier, so I wouldn't say too much more about that other than pick it up. Very, very good. I've also been playing a new release on Quest called Spinball. I think it's either called Spinball or Spinball MR, but if you search for Spinball, you find it. And this is, we've spoken about Racket Club before, and it's a little bit like Racket Clubs. This is a 1v1. It's not quite tennis. It's hard to describe what it is, but it's basically you set up your court, and it's basically like you place this little square in front of you, and you essentially have this like little. The best way to describe it is it's almost like a little circular trampoline. Sounds a bit bizarre, but that's ultimately what it is, and it's you versus one other person, and you're working your way around this trampoline, and it's just like you hit the ball, it has to bounce once, the other person has to hit it, and you always have to hit the trampoline, and it's just basically then 1v1, like first to, I can't remember whether it was 21 or something. You can't let it bounce twice, you need to serve from a certain height, and it's just basically a kind of little tactical sports-like game against another person, and it's a lot of fun. It is really, really good. It's slightly different, whereas you're properly like trying to put something into it. When you're playing something like Racket Club, it's almost more tactical, because you can work your way around this circle, and it's all about maybe trying to hit it somewhere that the other person, you can see the other person in terms of where they're moving around, and trying to hit it so that they can't hit it back. So yeah, pretty good. That's pretty
to play together eventually.
But yeah, we'll need to give it a try together. But I enjoyed what I played.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'll just quickly cover. I've been playing Bill Max Mustard. Still love it. Arizona Sunshine. Still love it. I did the refinery level. Most recently on that one. And at the end of it, there's a bit where you get attacked by a massive horde of them, which is how most levels seem to end. And I did it.
Game.
I did it. And I was like, fucking hell, there's so many of these. This is taking me ages. I'm nearly running out of ammo here. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is really intense. This can't be right. And eventually I cleared them. And after I cleared them all, that's when I found the big machine gun that you can use to mow them all down. And I was like, oh, that would have made that an easier job because I've sat here literally handgunning, rifling, reload them all. There's like hundreds and hundreds of these zombies that I'm just taking out one at a time by hand. Oh, I was so annoyed because
how did you not notice that instantly?
I don't know. I just
you literally walk into the area and you see it right there. Like literally, I think we walked in. Alex went, "Oh, a big gun," and that was it.
Honestly, if you're a dev watching me play, you'd be like, "No, what's he doing? Oh, for fuck's sake, he's not missed the fucking." Yeah. You have to design your games really with me in mind. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But
and a bit of glow around it, a little light just dangling down, just to show you there's a huge machine gun there to take out all the enemies.
It should just go like, go back. You have to try again.
Should have watched our playthrough.
I did try again because I did reload it. I did reload a save because I thought I've just got no ammo left. It's gonna make it really hard to keep going. And I reloaded it and then I did it with the machine gun. It was much more fun and much quicker as well. And it took me to do it by hand
as well, don't they? The machine gun, which I thought was really nice.
The whole game feels good. It was all just such a good game. Everything about it just works brilliantly well, and just I love it. Interesting parallel with that and Metro Awakening, or comparisons with Metro Awakening, which we can come on to. I should say, if anyone wanting our review of Metro or our thoughts on Metro Awakening, that is being released in a separate episode we are going to put out today after the embargo, because this episode drops first thing in the morning. The embargo for Metro Awakening is later today, so we will be doing a special snap episode coming out later today on that.
Yep.
But Arizona Sunshine, great game. I also quickly played a bit more Vendetta Forever after you guys really raved about it. I thought, no, I'll give this another go. And I'm pleased to say that it clicked a lot more this time round. I don't know why. I just seem to get the whole shoot and then grab. I do get a bit fiddly with dropping guns and picking guns. I do keep accidentally dropping guns all the time. But yeah, the more practice I get,
I did as well. So
it's very cool. I would say it's fucking hard still. Yeah. I find it really hard. But how can I not die in this? So it is definitely a puzzle game. But there is a modifier you can put on that just gives you invulnerability mode, basically, which is just complete cheat code. And that does make you feel like John Wick then, because John Wick can just take bullet after bullet after bullet and never seems to die. It's just like that. You can just go through these scenarios, these levels, and some of them are like hostage situations, some of them are on like yachts and stuff. The yacht one, that's my favourite one I've played so far, the level on the yacht. It's just, but yeah, when you get it and you get in that flow state and you just get in the groove, it's so cool. I love it. It's great. And the art style is wicked. Yeah,
it's a really cool game.
I like how just every level is a completely different scenario and setting, and just a little showpiece. Lots of homages to cinema and stuff as well, which is cool. The Bond level as well. That was a very cool one.
Very good game.
Mr. Bond.
So let's leave it there for now. Thanks again for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could please tell your family and your friends all about us. And if you'd like to get more involved, don't hesitate to drop into our Discord and say hello. I've been your host, Laurie. These two have been Alex and Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.